Hello and welcome to another edition of Pulp Picks. My name is Patrick.
I'm Fritz.
And we're here to give you this week's reading recommendations on New Comic Book Day. What a good week. Last night at Comic Club, everybody was commenting on like, whoa, this is a big release week. Mm-hmm. Part of it might be that I shifted the table around a little bit, but it is a pretty big release week. I mean, we're all the way down to row 3 again. Mm-hmm. So a bunch of graphic novels that hit the shelves too. And you know, it's funny because we were talking about this movie because of your choice this week. And then this morning on one of my news feeds, it popped up underrated movies with bad Rotten Tomato scores that are actually good, or sci-fi movies that are actually good.
I didn't know it has a bad Rotten Tomatoes.
Maybe it wasn't Rotten Tomatoes. Maybe it was the initial, it might have been the initial reviews were bad. I think actually, now that I think of it. So, yes, this one was one that, as we were saying yesterday, got kind of a second life in video release. Mm-hmm. And now, let's not keep it secret any longer. Yeah. What's your pick this week,
So,
Fritz?
my pick is Event Horizon Dark Descent. So, like you were saying, so this is related to the movie from the 90s, Event Horizon. If you're not familiar, basically, I think it's like 2040. They've created this ship that is the first ship that has like basically light speed capability in terms of like it's got like this kind of like drive that allows it to like kind of like poke through dimensions. Mm-hmm. So it can just go like from A to B, no problem. But just kind of disappears. And then all of a sudden like it just shows up again at like the edge of the solar system a couple like years later. So they go check it out. Turns out that dimension they went through maybe was like hell.
Yeah.
And yeah, so a bunch of spooky stuff happens and it gets really like gory and scary and all that. And yeah, no, like it's probably one of my little favorite sci-fi horror cult classics of the 90s. Like
Lawrence Fishburne, Sam Neill,
Oscar Isaacs, I believe is the Doctor, if I remember correctly. Yeah, like it's got a really good cast.
Must have been a super young Oscar Isaacs, huh?
No, not Oscar. Jason Isaacs. Sorry.
Oh, Jason Isaacs. Still super young Jason Isaacs.
Yes. But yeah, so like yeah, really, really good cast, really strong premise. Just like the whole design of the ship is like just scary to be in, even without like knowing that it's effectively a haunted house in space. But
it's Star Wars on acid, or not Star Wars, Star Trek somewhere.
Kind of, yeah. But like
or 2001: A Space Odyssey on acid. There you go.
Yeah. So this book is about what happened to the original crew of the Event Horizon when they went through. And if you've seen the movie, you know nothing good happens to anyone involved in that trip.
I salute you for being brave enough to read this book. That movie chilled me.
Well, and so the funny thing is most of this issue is actually about still before they actually go on the trip. It's about like we kind of like get to meet like the cast and everything of like who's going to be our unlucky favorites. Yeah. And yeah, so we get to kind of meet them. We get a little backstory on a couple of them. We get to meet their Latin quoting captain, who is important to remember that from the movie. They like to quote Latin things.
Latin, okay.
Yes. We'll get to remember this whole thing that like they think he says this one thing and then they translate again later. And she's like, "Oh no, he meant this. We screwed up." Yeah, but yeah, we get to meet everyone. It kind of like hops around in time a little. We get a bit more of like Sam Neill's character, like how. Like he kind of like developed the drive and everything, and we start to like get the sense that like, and you get a bit of this in the movie that there's very much this like kind of like malevolent force in like whatever this dimension is, like kind of like exerting its will on.
Come to me.
Yeah, like
visit me.
Yeah. Like we kind of get to see like there's like maybe a bit more of that going on here, and yeah, even before the trip happens. So you're starting to get the vibe that like, there's maybe some like unrelated not good stuff going on the ship anyways. Like there are some characters who've got some secrets, some of which might be a bit more detrimental to people than others. Yeah, and then they go. They make the jump. And next issue, I can only imagine things can't possibly get worse. Yeah, like I mean there's like early on in here a tease of things to come. Yeah. It's going to be a gruesome one, and I feel like I frequently pick books where gruesome things happen to people and other things.
Yeah, well, we've got another one up here, so
Yes, yeah.
very gruesome.
Yeah, but no, the book is just very, I don't know if fun is the right word. Christian Ward is the writer.
Oh, yeah.
He's been, most people probably know him more from, he started out as more of an artist, but he's been branching more into like being a writer as well. He did that Two-Face miniseries recently that was really good.
Oh, yeah.
He's definitely, because it's always kind of, we've talked about this before, it's always kind of like a dice roll when someone like kind of makes the shift from one to the other, like how much it's going to work. And
some can do it, some can't.
Yeah, and he is definitely proving that he is someone who can like do both very well. And the artist, I'm not familiar with the artist. I'm going to go check their name here. Where are they credited? Sorry, this is just going to be a second. Got to be in here somewhere. Seriously though, where?
Right on the cover?
I mean,
Jones. That's unhelpful.
Oh, here we go. Tristan Jones.
Tristan.
Yeah.
Oh, that Jones.
Yeah, they do a really good job of like, they've got this kind of like lifelike quality, but at the same time, like everything just kind of feels like sketchy on edge. Like,
yeah, sure.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Andrea Sorrentino. They work with Jeff Lemire a lot. Yeah, like it's got kind of like that kind of feel to it.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, but no, I think especially once things really start going sideways, they're really going to like hit their stride in terms of how gruesome things are going to get. But no, it's a fun book. Again, maybe not sure if that's the best term for it. Yeah. If you have seen the movie, I think it's going to be a good time for you. If you haven't seen the movie, first off, go see it. But even if you haven't, I think it's going to be like a good little sci-fi horror read for you.
There were definitely scenes that my friends and I watched in slow motion to be able to see everything, and it made it worse. Much worse.
So the funny thing is the theatrical cut that we got isn't like the final version that Anderson wanted.
Oh.
Like you get a little bit of that at the end with like those snippets of like what kind of like Hellraiser torture stuff was kind of implied to be happening, but the studio decided to like cut a lot of that. So like, and this being a book, that doesn't have to really care about that any kind of stuff. Like, it's like, oh, it's going to get real bad real quick.
Is there an Anderson cut that exists out there somewhere?
No.
All right, people, the movement starts now. Demand the Anderson cut.
Yes, nothing ever goes wrong when you have people slavishly demanding these things from Hollywood.
A directorial version of a 30-year-old movie.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. But speaking of sci-fi stuff, you've got your own little sci-fi.
Ooh, yeah. Good segue. It's Marvel in space, space. I went with Imperial number 3. Jonathan Hickman continues his space opus.
Yeah, it
feels like it's starting to kind of get there.
Yeah, this issue is very much like, I love because they got the different like title chapters in there. That one of them is just like, okay, here's just how it'd be now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've known from the very opening of the book that there are 2 entities, probably the best way to put that, playing 4-dimensional space chess. And that, of course, is just, to kind of illustrate what they're actually up to, which is they're playing a game against each other. So we get some identities revealed here, and the larger plot is
mostly like there's still some questions, but you definitely kind of get like, oh, this is why a lot of things are happening.
Yeah, we pull back the curtain a bit on some of it, but so it's interesting because we basically just in this issue we I don't want to give too much away, but we see one particular group that we have seen. Because we've got a number of different groups and factions that are kind of out there doing their thing, right? And coming out of this book, as we were talking about yesterday, there's going to be a bunch of one-shots that are going to kind of fill in the gaps on what's going on Scar and what's going on with Wakanda right now, and the Shi'ar, and specifically with Xavier and Lilandra, and them coming into the picture and whatever, but none of that has happened yet.
Yeah.
So we've got a group that's trying to figure out what's really going on because they have suspected that this has all been a distraction. smoke and mirrors, if you will.
Yeah, because like
so they're trying to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, because like the end of the last issue, we see that like, oh, like you thought it was going to be kind of this like straightforward conflict between the various galactic powers, and like, oh no, there's like a bunch of different factions within everything that are like coming to the floor, and it's just there's a lot going on. Again, this issue is very much between like, hey, this is why there's a lot going on. Like,
oh, absolutely. And we get somebody who is so thrilled with how good they are at pulling strings to get groups of people to do something, well, basically to get individuals within groups of people to do something that pushes groups of people to follow in a particular way that they want them to. They're basically, herding sheep, that they miss the point.
Yeah, like it says a lot that this issue can be so fun when there's like a very good chunk of it that's just two people at a table just like talking about like what their machinations are going to be. Like it's like the fact that you can still like have that be entertaining.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good. And one of them just really doesn't talk much and just kind of lets the other just run with the line, and it turns out they're sport fishing. Yeah.
Which I love that, like, I definitely called who one of the people was going to be, and I feel really dumb for not realizing who the other person was going to be.
Oh, sure.
But it's also, like, once it happens, just like, oh, well, of course. Like, it makes sense. And where they go from there with it is, like, okay, yeah, like, I got to see what happens now.
Yeah. I think one of our lights just died.
Oh, yeah, it did. So, hey, if the video quality changed. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. That's super weird.
Yeah.
Well, that'll teach me to buy LED lights on Amazon. So anyway, if you've read any of the solicits for this series, the ongoing series that will spin out of this, you just figured out you were just given the major plot point for one of them.
Yeah.
So we know that the plan that is set into place in this issue for that particular fragment of the overall story arc probably isn't going to end well, because
probably not.
We know via solicits where one's going. The art is beautiful here.
Again, the fact that they're able to make just like two people sitting at a table, like entertaining, like you've got to work a lot with like angles and like they make it work really well, especially considering there's like two different people in art, so having to like communicate that between them is like impressive in its own.
Well, and you've got them playing chess, and then there's the aquarium action that's happening around them, and all of it is just,
But yeah, we should also mention, so like, yeah, there's a couple of one-shots coming out to like set up like stuff for the final issue and like the stuff spinning out of it. First two come out next week. We've got a Planet She-Hulk and then a Black Panther book, and then the other three are coming out next month.
Yeah, and we've got the Xavier Lalandra book that's going to be them trying to rescue their child, apparently.
Yeah, we've got a Nova book, which I know you're very excited about.
Always.
Yep. There's going.
I only have to wait a decade in between each one. So,
I mean, hey, let's see how long this one lasts.
I hope a long time.
Yeah. There's going to be they're calling it Imperial Guardians. It definitely seems like it's going to be like some kind of Guardians of the Galaxy sort of book.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing there is it's going to have Dan Abnett back on writing.
Ooh,
so, Dan Abnett in space, always a good combo.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then all those one-shots are kind of like setting up the new ongoings that are going to be coming like after Imperial. So if there's any of these characters you are interested in, definitely check out the one-shots to see where they're going with them.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, they're doing an Epic Collection release of all the Annihilation books.
I believe so. I think I saw that.
So look for that coming up too, because that would be great if you're enjoying Imperial and you haven't read Annihilation. That is kind of the start of a lot of these story arcs that spun out of the aftermath of Annihilation.
When it comes to space stuff at Marvel, there's like everything pre-Annihilation and everything post-Annihilation.
Yeah.
It is very much like an inflection point that informs everything they've done with that kind of stuff since.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Fantastic. All right. Well, I can't say enough good stuff. You should pick this up. I believe that we've still got a couple copies of two. We've got a few copies of one yet.
I think so.
Yep. So anyway, but yeah, pick it up. All right. Now back to gruesome body horror stuff.
and surprising no one, because I think almost every issue has made it up here, we've got Absolute Batman issue 11.
Yeah.
This issue is the Bane issue, if you couldn't tell from him being very prominent here on the cover. We get his origin, we kind of get a look inside like his like headspace.
Ooh.
And yeah, it's not.
It might be creepier than the stuff that the Warp Drive and Event Horizon creates.
It's very. I very much enjoy what they've been doing with this book in terms of like. So like Nick Dragotta, main artist on the book, absolutely love his stuff.
Yeah.
He's someone who like they've got to just to make sure he can consistently stay in the book and can deliver the quality of art that he's been doing. Every so often they've got like little fill-in arts.
Yep.
But they like very much structure that around like what they want to do with the issue. With the first arc we had, I'm trying to remember. I think it was Gabrielle Hardman come on and do like a fill-in issue that was kind of like getting into more like the origins of like this version of Batman. This issue, since it's the origins of Bane, we've got Clay Mann coming on, and boy, does he draw a scary Bane.
It's
like,
so cool. So we get early in that book, we get kind of a 90s Marvel feeling beach scene kind of thing.
Yeah, they're like the double page spread is like almost disarming in terms of like what you think it's going to like
right.
be like.
It threw me, and I was like, this genuinely like the coloring and the light and everything on it is such a departure from everything that's been in this book so far. I felt like I was on the beach, and it was really weird.
Yeah.
And it does such a good job of really showing you the depravity of the situation that Bane really grew up in, and who he ended up being. And man, is it twisted. I will say it's rooted in some of the Bane lore.
Yeah, like they're like if you're familiar with the character and like the main universe, like a lot of what happens, like you like, oh, it's very much like riffing on that. You get like aspects that you recognize, but like it's done in a way, and it's what you especially you're talking about with color. Like there's a couple sequences specifically it plays with like how certain characters are like depicted. Like there's like a lot of scenes where like you don't really like get to see Bane, but like you clearly know he's there because he's like just straight red. Like it's just like just the color red for his body, for his silhouette, and it very much like paints you this picture of just like how prominent like he is in all of this, even if like sometimes it's not just quite clear like how.
Right. Well, and if there's one thing that I've learned from stories that I have read and watched over the years, it's don't trust a man in a white suit.
Yeah.
Who is this behind the scenes?
Yeah, so like we get this kind of like origin of Bane. We kind of get to see like how he gets brought into this like wider world that's being set up through this book, and like how he connects to characters that we've kind of been introduced to. We get a couple mentioned that like either haven't been before or have been kind of like slightly alluded to, and now we're starting to like see like how these dots are connecting and how big of a threat, because like it's been very clear from the beginning that Batman is up against like some kind of like conspiracy. There's like some greater movement that like is orchestrating things around Gotham and like the wider world that he's got to deal with. And none of that is like too surprising. Like that's very much stuff that like Snyder likes to play with. He loves like these ideas of like global cabals and
court of
like
owls and so on and so forth.
Like even outside of his like superhero stuff, you see in a lot of his creator-owned things.
Yeah,
and it's been interesting to see like how he like revisits and like readjusts his like takes on those kind of things out through the years.
Yeah.
And the way he's been doing it with this book in terms of like using it to like set up this like new superhero universe with characters and concepts that you are familiar with, and then just kind of tweaking them enough to like feel like their own distinct thing.
Yes. Absolutely.
It's been very fun to see that through the like again, it's always fun to see like how writers and artists evolve through their work.
Well, and he's also been good at finding artists who do a pretty good job of the body horror stuff that he wants to kind of shock the reader. And that's where, we started this with, in this, we see Bane do horrible things to Batman and other people, lots of other people.
But this is a man, like part of the whole thing they get into with this book is like Bane is a man who has realized that like peace is an illusion, the only way to like maintain any kind of like safety for yourself and those you care about is just basically be better at doing violence onto others.
Exactly.
And we see that in spades here. Like, this is a man who like has perfected like visiting harm on people.
Yeah. Well, to the point where when we're seeing the origin story, there's just panels of dismembered bodies in between what's happening, you know, so that you know that along the way it's carnage everywhere around him. It was excellent. I really like this. I very much enjoyed the guest artist. Yeah, it was great all the way around. Not to be surprised though, because I think out of the 11 books, maybe 1 or 2 didn't make it up here, and that was not because they shouldn't have. It was just because we felt like, you know, hey, maybe we should give somebody else a chance. But
I will say, also, speaking of guest artists, for those who have been enjoying this book and want to get more of it coming your way, there's going to be, I believe it's in November, the first Absolute Batman annual is coming out.
Yes.
And there's going to be a couple different stories, I think, but the main one is going to be written and drawn by Danny Warren Johnson.
Yes.
And it's going to be kind of similar to the issue 5 of the series, revisiting some of the early moments of this Batman. And it looks like it's going to be him taking on a bunch of white supremacists. So that's going to be
interesting.
That's going to be fun to see how that goes down.
Yeah. Well, Daniel Warren Johnson is a natural fit on this book.
I believe he said in an interview about it's just like, I've got like a lot of anger I've been working through, so this is like the perfect book to work it out on. And just like, this is very much a book where you can have people get like real violent with each other, and it just kind of fits.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. Well, 3 excellent books for people to check out if our recommendations swayed them in any way, shape, or form. What was close to making it up here for you this week?
There was a bunch of other good stuff this week. There's Thing versus the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, speaking of dismemberment.
Yeah, it's a fun little one-shot where, if you can tell from the title, it's the Thing fighting a bunch of other Marvel characters. It's written by Ryan North, who's been killing it on the main Fantastic Four book. Yes. And then Ed McGuinness is doing the art for it. And it's literally just a one-shot where everything is either one or double-page spreads of just like the Thing just like punching stuff or getting thrown through stuff.
Yeah.
It's just a very fun little one-shot like that.
I was really impressed with McGuinness's art on this.
Yeah, McGuinness is absolutely killing it on there. And again, it's just a one-shot, so you don't have to worry about anything. You just pick it up and be like, this was fun.
Yeah.
There's a couple other new number ones out besides this one this week that I enjoyed. There's the new Black Cat was fun.
Oh yeah.
There's there's a new Rick Remender book. It's called Escape. It's kind of like a World War II-esque story where this bomber pilot gets stranded behind enemy lines and has to try and complete a mission. But they're all like anthropomorphic animals.
Yeah.
I
flipped through the ash can.
Yeah. So there's like dog people and everything. So that one was fun. A bunch of other good books. What about you, Patrick? What were some of the ones you enjoyed?
Battle Beast was excellent. So we were laughing that this was maybe the least violent Battle Beast that's come out so far. But it might have been my favorite, and I know that's been up here. It was a real close call for me. So we get kind of I don't know. It's one of those fun kind of interlude issues that gives us some, I don't know, tools, plot points that will definitely be built upon. But it was just really funny. It was just, and you know, the writer-artist combo on this book is just fantastic.
I mean, like, with how long they worked on Invincible together, I'm sure they're like very much in sync with each other's sensibilities.
It's so good. That was great. What else? G.I. Joe was really good.
The last page in that issue is really fun.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, so we see Clutch and Hound kind of sneaking around. They're still not willing to, reveal that
Hound exists, or trying to convince anybody that not all the transforming robots out there are bad. Which will be interesting to see what they do with that, considering what's happening in the main Transformers book too.
It's going to be very interesting. Yeah. And then, at the back of it is the solicit for the new creative team on there, which points at a different direction as well. You know, if you're trying to read, I was looking at the art behind Optimus Prime and trying to figure out like, oh, are we doing like a rebuilding kind of thing or what's going on here? But and then you also end up with Baroness and CoverGirl, you know, fighting against each other for their lives in Major Blood's pit of doom or whatever you want to call it. And that was all very fun. So yeah, bunch of good stuff out this week. So speaking of good stuff that's about to come out, if you are a Spider-Man fan and you've been curious about Magic the Gathering, we've got the new Spider-Man set for Magic the Gathering coming out in about 3.5 weeks. Yeah. So we are taking pre-orders on that. If you just want to get some packs or some of the collectible cool, there's a whole bunch of super cool comic book art in this set. But if you're curious about playing, there's going to be some starter sets and stuff like that too. So yeah, so keep that in mind as, you know, maybe the Magic curious from our comic book world will cross over in there a little bit.
We've had a couple of show interests.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, we definitely have. Yeah, so. That should be fun.
Oh, we should also mention, because we talked about the last 2 weeks, new Absolute graphic novel.
Oh, yes. Absolute Superman.
Yeah. Got,
Volume 1.
Yep, got both softcover and hardcover for that. We still got some soft covers for both Absolute Wonder Woman and Absolute Batman.
Yep. I think we've got reorders for both on the way already, too, because we expect these to move very, very fast.
Yes, yeah. They've all been popular, both in just like the floppy format and then with the trades, like... People can't get enough of these books, so definitely stop by and grab them if you've been curious and haven't just like... Really?
Right now? Seriously? Yeah.
Oh,
well, I guess that means that it's probably time to go. Yeah. We're expecting the food truck here again this Friday, so if you'd like to try some local barbecue, give it a whirl. They should be ready to serve around 6 o'clock. We had kind of a delay last week because of some... unforeseen events or what have you, so they weren't up and running 2 weeks ago, last time they were here. But this time, you know, we've got it all planned out. Everything should go smoothly. So food is amazing. Prices are extremely reasonable. People are very friendly. There's no reason not to come down and enjoy some barbecue. And the weather's supposed to be a bit more mild on Friday.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like, I think we're supposed to be getting to like the 70s for the next week or so. Yeah, so very excited about that.
Let's hope for a long fall.
Yes.
I think. All right. Well, be sure to like, follow, subscribe, comment, share, all of that stuff. But most importantly, get into your local comic shop and pick up some, like Fritz was saying, some floppy copies of great stories. And if individual periodical issues isn't your jam, we've got tons of graphic novels here too. We've got our dollar section, we've got our back issues, and always the new wall. So we will be back next week with more Pulp Picks. Until then, enjoy the reading.
Okay, you guys can make noise now.